join the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Joe, Baptist Church, can do our invocation.
Dear God in heaven, I thank you for those that have stepped into the arena to take responsibility. You call a sense of higher accountability to those that take responsibility. And so I pray for great wisdom for these as they think through and process different things that are going on. I pray that they have a discernment that takes them not just between good and bad, but between good and excellent. They're able to discern and separate those things out and to wise decisions. It's in Jesus' name we pray.
Make a motion we approve the minutes as written.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion we approve the claims. There's 2 of them with the air conditioner from last week. The total is $488,304.79.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 I make a motion that we approve ads and abates. Ads and abates 2024-284 through 287 with a refund in the amount of $2,569.28.
I'll second that. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody have any additions or subtractions from the agenda?
Commissioners, with Allison being gone today, I didn't know if you wanted to make any changes to the agenda. SEK Inc.'s director, Patty Sanborn, would like to come and address the mission statement of SEK, just to share with you what they're about.
Okay.
I told her to be here around 10:45 if you approve her on the agenda.
You want her to do?
What do you think?
That's fine. It's
fine with
I
me
guess
as
it's
well.
taped, so whatever's.
Yep.
Alice can listen to it. I'm good with that.
Kenny Blair was supposed to come back today so that he could present with Allison in the room. Did we want to leave him on the agenda?
Jennifer?
No. Kenny Blair
Oh,
You
on
can hear
the
about
bridge.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't we have to make a decision today?
Yes.
Yeah. Today's, the deadline's at 10.
So is he coming or is he?
I believe he's still coming.
Okay. I think we need to leave him on and
Yeah.
move forward one way or another.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
I don't have anything. I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as corrected.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. AMR?
Okay, good morning. I have the ambulance report for AMR. I'm Dawn Brooks. For October 1st through October 5th, Mound City had 3 calls, 0 transports. Lacine had 2 calls, 2 transports. Linn Valley had 3 calls, 1 transport. Mound City had 3 calls, 1 transport. Parker had 2 calls, 1 transport. Pleasanton had 4 calls, 3 transports, for a total of 17 calls and 8 transports so far this month. And then I just wanted to ask if Jacqueline doesn't have any objections, do you want me to bring a hard copy of the extension for them to sign next week? Would that be okay?
That would be great.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn.
I read the sheriff's report,
Yes,
Jason.
sir. Sheriff's report for October 6, 2025. Total prisoners of 43, 26 releases this past week. Total prisoners in of 52. Total farmed out of 1. Farmed in of 29. 911 calls 107. Jail contacts 4,132. Total calls for service of 592. Civil service papers served of 29. Then inspections 5. New cases open 30. Cases closed 6. Vehicle crashes 5. Bailiff contacts 207 with 59 resulting in calls for service and livestock out of 2.
Fire and emergency management, Randy.
Good morning, Commissioner. Randy Hagwell, Linn County Emergency Management and Rural Fire. This week's call totals, we had 11 total calls, brings our yearly total up to 468 calls. This week is Fire Safety Week across the nation. The theme of this week is lithium battery safety. We'll be posting stuff on our Facebook page this week about lithium battery safety and how to charge it, how to dispose of it, and information like that. We have some school visits also scheduled this week, teaching fire safety. About a month ago, you guys approved purchasing a F-450 from federal surplus. That truck came in. The information they gave us was false on it. It ended up having a diesel engine in it instead of a gas engine. They were allowed us, because of that information, to back out on that sale. The year it was, looking into that engine, there could possibly be some future repairs that would have exceeded the value of the truck. So
Yeah.
we were able to back out on that. So we're still looking for another truck, but just kind of give you an update on that information. We were set up at General Pleasanton Days this weekend. We got a couple of new applicants to fill out applications to be on the fire department. So we'll be going through those interview process. And other than that, that is all I have.
Okay,
Sounds good. Thank you,
Thank you.
Randy.
thanks. Health Department, Amanda.
Good morning. Could you turn on the TV? Okay. Maybe not.
Sounds like you're fighting allergies too.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia?
Mm-hmm.
Even better.
Even better. That's okay. I'll go ahead. No pretty pictures today. Okay, September update. Excuse me. Our client appointments were at 465. Some of the highlights for September, we had school immunizations, our Blue Mound WIC clinic our trimester class curriculum training, hearing and vision screenings. The mammogram coach was back at our location. And we also had MCH home visitor training. The next slide that I had was just pictures from the WIC training that we conducted. We trained staff from Neosho County, Crawford County, Cherokee County, and then Bourbon, Allen, Woodson, and Anderson. Our October calendar and upcoming events, we'll have a breastfeeding and changing station available at Arts and Crafts this weekend. We will have, we'll be teaching fourth grade hands-on CPR at Jayhawk. Our Becoming a Mom classes started again last week. We'll be handing out toothbrush smile kits to every elementary age school child for Halloween. We'll be attending the Kansas Breastfeeding Coalition Conference next week. And then our flu shot clinics have been scheduled. October 9th, we'll be at Prairie View. October 14th, Jayhawk. The 15th will be at FabCon. The 20th, we will be at the jail and the Blue Mound Senior Center. The 27th will be at Lynn Valley. And the 30th, we will be in the annex here for county employees. And then you can always get your flu shot at our office by appointment. Okay. And then our fall baby sprinkle is scheduled for Friday, November 14th. So anybody who's expecting or has had a baby in the last 6 months is encouraged and welcome to attend. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Amanda. I don't have any.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great day.
Yep,
Get better.
I'll email you those slides if you want to look at them.
That'll be
Can I
good.
send them to you? Yes. Okay, that's okay, thank you.
You have something, Danielle?
I just got it. Commissioners, last week you reviewed and approved the budgets. I had you sign the review verification page. I didn't have you sign the certificate page. So I'm just needing to collect signatures for the certificate page. This is submitting your signature on the budget that you've already reviewed and approved. And that's going to be for Linn County, Rural Fire, Cemetery 4, Cemetery 1, and District 1. Sewer, sorry, Linn County Sewer District 1.
Okay.
It's right here where the governing body is.
That's correct.
All three, both of us sign, or
Yes, both of you need to sign. That's still majority, so that'll be good. Jacqueline, did there need to be a motion since they've already reviewed and approved? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners, and I'll be dating these for the date that you approved the budgets.
okay. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Okay. Jesse?
Morning, Commissioners. Jesse Walton with Public Works. I've asked Jenny to come in and say hello to you, being our planning and zoning interim.
Hi, I just
Jenny.
wanted to introduce myself, Jennifer Cummings, lifelong, well, pretty much most of my life here in Linn County. And just assure you that things are moving forward. We're getting cloud permits set up even more every day. So Do you have any questions for me?
I don't, but thank you for taking on the responsibilities.
Yeah, for stepping up. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Jenny.
Next, Commissioners, I've got Kenny here with the engineering firm to discuss the old military bridge. About getting some forms possibly turned in so we can go forward with this grant if we decide to.
Thank you, Jesse. Kenny Blair with Cook Platte and Strobel Engineers. Appreciate the opportunity to discuss this bridge some more. Jesse asked me to kind of go in a few details about some thoughts about how to negotiate with the Historic Society to keep it online instead of having to go around. And I told him, I would say we're cautiously optimistic that we could accomplish this, but it's there's no guarantees. I'm an engineer, not a salesman, so I'm not gonna make up stuff. But we just the last project we did was on the historic register. It was a 600-foot bridge north of Chanute, and it was going to cost an extra $1 million to go around. And so in that case, we found another bridge in the county that the Historic Society wanted to replace for this one to put on the register. And there is one bridge that's of similar type. This is a concrete arch in Linn County that we could possibly offer up as a substitute. The bad thing is that this bridge is a 2-span and that's a single span, so that it's not 100% the same. Another thing is that this bridge it's got that fancy handrail on it that's, be considered historic. And so in the past, we have incorporated some of those elements into our new bridge. So I would say we would propose putting a similar handrail on the new bridge that matches, the old bridge as part of the mitigation. And then another thing we've done is built like a kiosk where public can pull off, and there's like a placard there that maybe has some bronze plaques. It's got some photos and maybe a historic narrative
Of the original bridge.
of the original bridge and that sort of thing. So that'd be the direction we'd be headed. Also, one of the good arguments for this, most of the time, if you're talking about a county bridge, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and it's a lot easier to slide out around them, which we've done in the past. But this one is right, next to town. It's got houses on both sides of the road. It's got some fairly major utilities, water lines, power lines. So it's going to be a tight mess and they're going to be expensive. And that's why KDOT and we in conjunction sort of came up with that worst case number for Linn County's part. So I think you talked about one of the bad things is they will not discuss it ahead of time and say, yeah, that sounds good, you can go that way. They require you to basically put together a set of preliminary plans, what we call field check plans, which is about 60%. So which includes the survey and all that, and has the plan in to propose and then discuss. So
So we would be spending roughly how many dollars before we knew kind of what our total portion would be?
At 60%, I think you'd be about 50 grand in. So you'd be 50,000 in. We'd probably be 5 to 6 months down the line to where we've got all the utilities located. We got a new proposal in. We're meeting with the Historic Society to see if they're going to buy what we're proposing. So, I mean, the survey engineering side is in around 80 some thousand. So 60% of that would be the 50 grand. And I mean, you have the option of walking away at that time. Of course, there's no guarantees that the state will
Ever
give you 2 million again.
Right.
Just a couple of years ago, they capped the amounts at $1 million. Now, lately they've increased it some, but if you look at the vast majority of the bridges that were chosen statewide, you guys are getting, I think, like the second highest number at 2 million. You know, there's 105 counties, and I think only probably about, say, 20, 25 counties got picked for bridges, and everybody's submitting, trying to get money. So, you know, nobody can predict the future.
Right.
You've been an engineer looking at that, so you're gonna say if we did anything different, we'd have to go behind the houses, and I mean,
Well, probably not behind, but you're taking front yards, and then the right of way price, you know, goes way up. It's not like you're buying farm ground, you're buying somebody's front yard.
there's not a whole lot of room either direction.
No, it's tight. And then, of course, then you've got utility that exaggerates the utility moves when you're
Right.
swinging out, and there's a lot more dirt work. Right now, the dirt's there.
You just got to
You
reshape it.
flatten the sides a little bit, but once you go off to the side, you got to bring in all that fill, and then a lot of times there's a waiting period. If you put brand new fill up 15 feet high, there's maybe a 5 or 6 month settlement period. We have to let that dirt settle out. So it just increases the costs of everything. You know, plus all the asphalt, you know, it's going to lengthen the amount of road work. It ends up being a road job instead of a bridge job, kind of, you know.
Yep.
But, you know, you're making a 100-year decision, because these bridges, well, the one that's there, it's been there 110 years. You know, it's coming to its end of its useful life, and so this is a 2027 letting program. So I mean, it takes 18 months to go through all the, you know, Fish and Game, Wildlife and Parks, Corps of Engineers, all the permitting, and of course the big battle is going to be the Historic Society. So
So our portion will be due in 2027, besides the
yeah.
the 80,000.
Yeah, the engineering, survey engineering, the geology, also utility moves. Now, that'll be something we'll watch close, because if utility is on county easement, then the utility company has to pay to move. But if like, for example, a lot of times water lines may be in their own easement, then the county would have to pay to move. So we watch that very closely. We may want to slide slightly one way or the other, and it's going to be based on who's paying to move something.
Right.
We don't know whether there's an easement there yet. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, until we start doing when the surveyors will do the research, look at all the deeds, find out, you know, what, you know, if these utilities are in their own easement, if they're in county easement, and then the move is on them. So, I mean, there's a lot involved.
Okay. Any cost overruns are going to make us very tight as far as being able to stay revenue neutral next year, right? On next year's budget. I mean, we're already kind of behind on the high risk rural roads for the second half of 1095, the south half. And then we add this in. I think it's gonna make it very difficult for us to stay revenue neutral in 27.
It'll make it tight.
Sure will. That being said, I do think that, you know, getting some of these older bridges off of our inventory and things that way while we've got grant money is definitely a positive thing. Coming back to the Historical Society, you'd think we would, so we will know from them during that $50,000 whether.
Yes. Well, as
So-
usual, the very beginning, we'll see if we can get them to commit one way or the other, but normally they won't.
Right, but after the $50,000, we'll
Right.
be able to know.
Yes.
So in theory, we would be risking $50,000 of county funds to see if we could get this bridge replaced for $2 million of grant money and $200,000 to $250,000 of county money.
Correct.
you think would stay within the 200,000?
I think so. I mean,
But we
it's,
don't know what the cost of the.
the utility moves or would be the only, wild card in that deal, but so it could end up being less than that. If the utilities don't really get us bad, I mean, it could be less than 200,000 because you're only required, you're 100% on survey, engineering, geology, right away utility moves. Then you're anything over 2 million in construction inspection. But if it's on alignment, there's no way this job's going over 2 million.
Okay, and so, Kenny, with our Hell's Bend Bridge project that we had, part of our issue there was that the bid came back so much higher than what was anticipated.
Yeah.
You know, how are bids coming in at this time? Are we doing a better job of forecasting, or?
Well, KDOT the engineer gives an estimate to KDOT. This is a KDOT-let job, so I don't know, KDOT has the final say on the estimate. Hopefully it would do better. I don't know, the last several bridges we've estimated have been all come in under. Now, I know prices are up, but if this job was on alignment, if it goes on alignment, I can't see it being above like 1.5. I think the reason it's so high is because KDOT, we had to price it as the absolute worst case, which is like I said, the road project. The road becomes horribly expensive. You got to move all the dirt over. You got to put asphalt all over that. So I don't see that. I think you have two wild cards here. The biggest one is the Storage Society. The other one is the utilities.
Okay.
You get past that. The other thing to do, and KDOT will talk with Linn County and get their opinion, but it's the best way to get a lower price is to give a wide start window for your contractor. In other words, you say you have a letting in January, but you let the contractor start anywhere between, say, March and September.
So that they can manage their work.
Absolutely. Because KDOT's had some they put tight and gotten zero bids on. So,
Well, the Hell's Bend Bridge, at the time, the railroad had a lot of clout in what we was doing there.
yeah, well, at railroad bridges, that's a whole nother,
Beast.
yeah, that's a whole nother wild card deal. Contractors kind of don't like working over railroads because it's just
They can shut you down.
yeah, it's just,
Determine what you do.
we just
when you do it.
built a bridge over a railroad here recently that the railroad was treating us terrible until they had a derailment on our site, and all of a sudden they wanted to work together. It was a weird thing. But yeah, I think it sounds like you maybe got bit a little bit because of it being a railroad bridge.
I just think it's important that we're talking through what we learned from that one. I mean, that was my first time going through this stuff. Was that your first time?
That was the first one, and it was already in the process when I started.
Right.
Yeah.
And the cost just continued.
Yeah.
To escalate.
It's 180,000 to begin with, and before it was over, there was a 330 plus
We were at 500 and some.
change orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the cost of the bridge total?
We got 2 million on it as well.
Did you?
It was 2.3
Okay.
million is what it ended up at.
Well, I mean, ultimately, the contractors determine the price.
Right.
So,
I was more asking of, I mean, we had seen there when prices just seemed to be climbing.
yeah, yeah.
It seemed like everything that we sent out for bid would come in higher than what our estimates were. And I know that our 1095 and our overlay, we were very close on those as far as what those came in at here lately. So that's why I was asking if it had stabilized enough that we're doing a better job of estimating.
Hopefully are. Of course, we're 18 months out, but yeah, after COVID, there were supply chain issues and things went through the roof, and then actually prices started coming back down a little bit. So
Okay.
we've seen decent bids.
Okay.
If we've got to build this fancy handrail on this bridge, that's going to add some dollars, but I just don't see any way the Historic Society is going to let us tear that one down unless we put a similar railing back up. And, you know, the bridge we propose would be a concrete haunch slab, which is kind of an arched bridge, which is similar to what's there, and put that rail back. I mean, a reasonable person, I think, would, you know, go along with that. We'll see how reasonable they are.
Okay. Well, I would be in favor of going to the $50,000 to see if we can get this bridge replaced.
I brought some contracts with me. I don't want to be pushy, but if you want to, for survey and engineering, which is, it's like about $82,000 total. And in the contracts, it says you can stop it at any time where we're at. So if you got to and it talks about field check in there at 60%. And if you got there and decided not to move on, you know, you can just cancel it there. But
Will we see where the right of way is for right off? I mean, is that something that'll be the first, as far as?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll know that before
Yeah.
we get anywhere else.
Right. And first thing we're going to do is survey.
And then we could stop at any time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can stop at any time. I mean, this is just our standard contract.
Have you seen this contract?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Fine, we'll read through it.
Yeah, on page 2, towards the bottom, number 2. It says, the right is reserved by the county to terminate this agreement at any time. Once it ends. So. But so it talks about 60% on the first page. So this is for 84.2. So 60% of that, calculator.
50,400 and something.
Yeah. Yeah, $50,520 is 60%. And that basically, when you get to field check, you've got all the road plans done. But the bridge you haven't designed, you've just kind of laid out the size of it. So that's where the other 40% comes in. So this is being a $2 million job, 2 million plus. This is less than 5% engineering fee, which is, we consider it to be low. So.
It seems to suggest on that paragraph 2 on page 2 under section 3 that in no case greater than the lump sum fees stipulated on page 1. So the 84,200 would be the maximum amount that they would be out. Is that how you understand this as well?
Yes.
I mean, ideally, it would only be the 60%.
Or even you can stop at any time is the point.
Right.
So usually and that rarely happens, but if it did, I mean, we could look at we would present you with maybe our hours and we could talk about it. But, you know, we want to have a long-term relationship with Linn County. So we want you guys happy, and we're not going to try to stick it to you or anything like that.
Is it by the time that the field plans are checked and everything that we would know for sure the location of that bridge?
Yeah, well, what the Historic Society usually makes you do is they make you work up some plans, propose something, because we've tried to get them to commit. Do we have to go around? Can we go through? Well, they usually are say, well, you could possibility go through, you propose something. We've actually had a situation where the county's like, well, let's propose, go straight through, and we draw it up, and then they're like, nope, we got to go around. So we've had them do that in the past, but now that bridge was out in the middle of nowhere, and we're swinging out around there's no houses around, there's no massive utilities. So, but yeah, we will know for sure, because what we'll do is we'll get the field check. That's when you submit for permits. We have to get a Corps of Engineer permit, Division of Water Resources permit. And when DWR sends out, when you send in for their permit, they're a clearinghouse for all the state agencies. So they send Historic Society, Fish and Game, Wildlife and Park, and get all those comments in. So that's when that happens.
I was just confirming whether that was at the field check
Yes.
plan spot or it was at the final plan spot that you would know.
Field check plans.
Okay.
So that's, I think last week you guys asked, how much money we in before we know, and I said around 50 grand.
Right. That's what I have wrote down.
Commissioners, this is in line with what I wanted to see. I wanted to make sure that you all had an opt-out or termination provision that was before too much money had been spent. So as far as the investment piece, that's for you all to decide as whether the $50,000 520 investment is worth it to you to
See if we can get a bridge.
see if we can get this remedied.
$1 million grant.
But on my end, I wanted to make sure that you all had a way to not be stuck with this. And I'm satisfied that that is a sufficient opt-out clause. And according to what the gentleman has said, we'll know at that initial spot, the 50,520, whether they're going to have to do something dramatic with that bridge, or just reconstruct it where it currently sits, which would be the difference in the ultimate price, which would be the difference in the ultimate amount that the county would have to spend. So, I'm satisfied that this sufficiently protects your guys' interest if you are okay with the $50,000 investment.
So basically, it'll be the right-of-ways first and then the Historical Society.
Yeah. We
Right
will
away,
try to talk to them early
Right away
on.
and utilities.
Right-of-way and
Yeah,
utilities.
the survey gets all that. When you get turned right, because, there's no way you're going to build this bridge without some
Right.
Because it's going to be
Right.
wider and flatter, but
No, we understand.
narrow strips, on each side is a big difference between that and a huge swath, on one side or the other, so.
And I think we're looking at it, Kenny, from the standpoint of when are we going to be able to take a lot of the ifs
Right.
out of this? Right, Jim, isn't that what you're,
As far as the moving of the utilities, if
Right.
if
if
it,
we're responsible,
right.
we want to know so we know
Real
what our
quick.
cost is so that we know whether we're looking at something that makes sense or something that is too extravagant.
We will try to get the Historic Society to commit before that,
Right.
but in the past, they haven't done that. So
Understand.
very early on, we'll meet with them and have the county involved and say, look, this is our situation. It's kind of unique and it's really in an urbanized area. I think that's a key.
Okay. Are you good with it?
I'm good with it that way. Where we can call the shots as far as how deep we get into this before.
Well, I'll make a motion that we allow the chair to sign the contract with Cook, Flat, and Strobel Engineer for the bridge on East 850 Road over the Little Sugar Creek to try to get the KDOT grant of $2 million. That we've already been awarded.
I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Want one of these signed? Or-
Now, the next step is this 1302 form, which we will fill out, and then I'll have to send it back to you guys, and you'll have to sign it and get it into KDOT.
Okay,
And
so, and when was that due?
Due by Friday.
By Friday? And so do we need something to allow that to be signed by Jesse?
Sure.
So what is the form again?
the
1302?
1302 form, yeah.
And
So
what is it entailing?
it's basically accepting the $2 million project from KDOT. So.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we allow Jesse to sign the 1302 form on behalf of the county, accepting the $2 million grant from KDOT for the bridge on East 850 Road.
I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Kenny.
All right.
Appreciate your patience working with us on this.
No problem.
We're signing two of them.
You can find that so we can have, give you the original and keep an original too. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've asked Joyce to come in and discuss a little bit more on the G-Works, what's going on with it and the training and cost.
Okay. Hey, Joyce.
Briefly go over this as well.
Okay.
Joyce Hall, Linn County Public Works Office Manager. Before I go over the G-Work stuff, I just briefly wanted to touch on the FEMA event from 2024. I know a couple of weeks ago, some questions were asked about where we were on things and the price and all that and when to expect payments. So I just kind of wanted to clarify. Randy Hegwald is the one that will notify the commission when there's a natural disaster, if there's one declared. And then at that time, all the reporting goes through our office here, through the grants portal, and me working with FEMA directly. If you have any questions going forward on any of this stuff, just let me know. I'll try to answer whatever I can. What I gave you right there is a summary of what I've submitted for this disaster. So we are so far over $1.9 million. As far as the event in 2019, I went back and looked. We don't get just one check. We get multiple checks. So from the April 2019 report or flood event, we got 3 different checks. One was received in July of 2020, one in November of 2020, and then the final one was May of 2021. And I'm trying to remember, I think the way they did it, they gave us the initial check was for just our debris removal. And then another check came for our North District expenses. And then the third check came for our South District expenses. That's kind of how they split it up. So the deadline for our FEMA is January 16th of 2026. So we may be, based on prior experience, might get some of that reimbursement in 2026, but we might not get the full reimbursement until the following year.
Will that be, if it's approved, we get that
If
figure?
it's approved, so yeah. And on what I think there was a little bit of discussion too as far as the reimbursement, so I just want to clarify on that as well. FEMA will reimburse us 75%, but we also get 10% from the state, so the total reimbursement would be 85%. Any questions on any of that?
Nope, that gives us a better understanding.
Okay.
Thank you, Joyce.
You're welcome. So as far as the G-Works update, I spoke to Phil McGrath back on September the 22nd. I didn't get in here last week, so I'm a little behind. The total cost, I think you guys were needing clarification on what they submitted for us. So the total cost per year for G-Works is $15,000. That's their base cost. For year one for Linn County, they are charging us a loyal client bundle price of $11,064. They are also for year one applying a 50% year one discount of $5,532. So that leaves us a cost of $5,532 plus $8,000 as a one-time implementation fee to migrate all of our information over. So the total fee would be $13,532. For year two, we could also expect the $11,064 price, according to what I talked to with Phil. That's the loyal client pricing for that year. So then year three and beyond, he said we can expect an estimated 5 to 7% yearly increase of that $11,064.
Of the 11,000,
Yes,
not the 15,000.
yes, that's what he said.
Okay, so $13,032 in year one, $11,064 in year two, $11,064 plus 5 to 7%
Right.
for year three.
Yeah, year
going
one was
forward.
13,532. I don't know if I heard you wrong, but yeah,
13,532, yeah.
16,5 or 13,532.
Sorry.
Okay. So Phil sent an ordering document last week. This is what we will sign for a 2-year contract commitment with commission approval. Once we sign that, and Jesse would sign that, we'll scan it back to Phil. He said that they would initially invoice us the $8,000 for the implementation fee. Once they receive that payment from us, Phil would be working with other G-Works staff to input our PubWorks data into their hyperweb system. During that time, we will still be working in PubWorks as normal. He estimated it would take 2 to 3 weeks for them to transfer our data over to the new system. Once they get it input into hyperweb, that's when they will schedule 2 or 3 meetings with primary staff to verify that our data transferred correctly and to troubleshoot any issues we may see. We would give them examples of how we enter our work entries so that they can test everything and make sure it's all running smoothly and that everything transferred over correctly. Once they verify it's all migrated and working correctly, they would have a go live date. When we go live, we will be invoiced the remaining $5,532, less any prorated amount from our prior contract, which it renews July the 1st. So for example, if we had 7 months of our PubWorks contract left, we could expect an estimated $2,151 to be deducted, which would be a remainder of $3,381 that we would owe them.
Okay.
The go live date will then become our new renewal date for each year thereafter. So say we go live 12/1, we would renew next year on 12/1. And that's when they would invoice us the $11,064.
Okay.
The mid-October date that I mentioned the last time I was up here, Phil had originally gave me that, and he said it was for an estimated date for transferring our data into hyperweb, not for actually starting training. Any training, again, would occur later on once we get the green light that everything is a go. They would then do a train the trainer session with folks who have some background knowledge from the implementation meetings. So whoever's determined to be in these implementation meetings, that's who they want to train initially. And I know we talked about after that, we would maybe want to schedule training with the department heads and then later on with the rest of the staff. So I guess all this is going to determine on if you want to go ahead and approve that and we can get it signed and back to them and then they will start their process. I just want to mention that I am very, very bogged down this month and next month. I've got the transportation grant that just opened last Wednesday. My deadline's November 20th. And also, since Jenny is now planning and zoning, I'm back to doing double the work right now. So I'm going to be very limited on what I can do and when I can do it.
Okay.
And I think that's all I have. You have any questions?
I don't.
I don't either.
Do you want to move forward with approving that, or do we need a motion for that? For
And
Jesse?
what we have now is done. I mean, it's going to be done.
It's gonna
We
be
have to
done in
move
March.
some direction.
Yes.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I'll make a motion that we,
Wait, you got something?
Well, I was just gonna say that I understood that whenever they told us about this before and Chris Martin had come in here and Jesse had come in here to talk about it, I understood that we had already made the motion to go ahead and do what they were asking us to do because we didn't have a choice
Right.
in the
Okay.
matter.
That's the email that came through, so that is a 2-year commitment. But again, it's not one payment, it's gonna be split out.
over the course of,
But now that we have these additional details, I think it might be prudent to go ahead and approve this 2-year agreement if that's what you want to do, or make a motion not to do that. Again, my understanding was that we were a little bit at their mercy because they were switching us like it or not. And when Chris came to talk to us and Jesse as well, it didn't seem like we had sufficient time to check a different vendor. So my understanding was that you all had agreed to go ahead and proceed with this new vendor. And so now that we have the details of a 2-year agreement, perhaps it would be prudent for you all to make a motion as to whether or not you approve this
Okay.
2-year contract thing.
I'll make a motion that we enter into the 2-year contract with G-Works, Cloud Operations Enterprise, in the amount of $24,596, and allow Jesse Walton as Public Works Administrator to sign
For a 2-year
the
contract.
2-year contract.
I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. Did you need this back?
Next, I've got the landfill truck bids that came in.
Thank you. All right, mine is from Nextran Truck Centers. 2027 Mack Granite 64 BR with the Galbraith roll-off hoist. Total package per truck of $220,715. Delivery time frame 180 to 240 days from receipt of the purchase order.
How much was that per truck, you said?
$220,715. That's the way I read it.
I read this one's for, that's per truck, right?
Yep.
I have one from Premier Truck Group for 2026 Freightliners for 2 trucks for a total of $243,472.80.
Okay, so do we have the grassy part on those?
I don't know what's there.
Okay, let's see that. Thank you.
This might be something here. And then here's the bodies. For 2 bodies for $141,060.
Okay. Well, this one's 441,000 and this one is
It was 243, 472.
141, so
Was it 243?
380,
243,
472, 80.
80 plus 41, 260. 384, 532, 80.
Okay. Thank you,
That
Jesse.
Come out of ARPA money, right?
Correct. Yeah, the majority of that will come out of ARPA funds. Most of that'll come out of ARPA funds. If there is any extra that's needed to put those trucks together, we do have that in our equipment reserve fund for the landfill if we need to use that. I'll go over those and we'll bring those back next week in commission meeting. I have here the agreement for our perimeter berm between Linn County and Nail Excavation to start on that berm. Their tentative date right now is November 3rd to start construction on that berm. I just wanted you to be aware that this contract agreement between us and Nail for them to go and start on this. It does state in here that they will not go over the contracted price that they had bid of $66,022. And that they will take liability on what goes on out there. So I just wanted you to be aware that.
We'll have somebody come out and verify with.
Correct. Yep. So, let you know, I'm gonna sign that, send that back, so we have an agreement with them. And we can get going on that,
Good.
that berm out there.
And that'll buy us a little bit more time to get our work on our expansion.
Correct. We are talking with, the Corps of Engineers going to the east. It's looking really good that we'll be able to use the strip pit. We just have to fill it in till we get up to groundwater level. Then we can start using it. They're also looking at what channels the water's gonna flow, you know, if we get a heavy rain, what's it gonna hit, what tributaries, things of that nature. So we're waiting for all that information to come back from the Corps of Engineers on that, but things are looking really good. We're gonna go out and look for a borrow pit site if needs be for this perimeter berm, and also to fill in that strip pit out there when it comes time to start doing that. So that'll be something that's probably gonna start here in about a month. Just go look at
So-
those spots.
So we won't, what are you saying there? We'll have to buy dirt?
No, we won't have to buy dirt. We're just gonna move dirt out there on the site
Okay,
to fill that spot in.
okay.
Yep.
No,
So
that's,
I just don't want a great big hole dug out in the middle of there and then we've got a hole that we've got to fill back in. It'll be something that we'll just scrape off the top to
Okay.
fill in those
Off the
spots.
ground we're already on.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So we
That
aren't
was-
going to have to buy
that
any
was the
dirt.
clarification I wanted.
Yep. We won't have to buy
How
any.
many projected, how many years is this elevation,
Our vertical expansion.
vertical expansion?
I can ask Tony on that. It's supposed to buy us a few years.
I think it was 5 to 6.
That's what
I
I,
want to say 5 years, I think was the number that I remember on that, talking with Tony.
So I talked to him as well about this because of the space and everything that was out there and how forward thinking you all need to be in regard to the other spots. And there was the anticipation that we would buy ourselves some years, but it depended on how much demolition was happening and how much loads were coming in. So this in some ways correlates to that little deal where you all waive the fees for folks that are demolishing houses or whatever, the construction debris and stuff like that. So Tony said that we could reevaluate at an interval of your guys' choosing to see where we are on that time frame so that we can be aware sort of like in advance if we are filling that up in advance of the anticipated time.
Makes sense.
So I told them that I would talk to you all about what type of interval that you all would want, but that we definitely need that lead time if we're running out of space, because we really don't want to be crunched on having
Where
to.
we have to send them somewhere else.
Exactly.
Right, to the end.
So in that, Jesse, did you, where are we in the conversation about the other location?
So we're waiting for the Corps to get back to us on their studies with the waterways, that goes from the coal strip pit that's there. So we're just waiting on that from them, dealing with whatever that's got to deal with on that. But so far, the predictions are looking really good that we can use it.
Okay, and what was your expected time frame
There is no expected time frame as of right now.
to hear back from them?
Oh, to hear back from them, they didn't give us a time frame when they're going to hear back. I'm going to be talking with Tony here tomorrow
Okay.
about our project with the perimeter berm, and I will discuss that with him.
Okay,
And I think from our previous conversations with Tony he was saying that it would take us 2 to 3 years to do the expansion part. So, and I'm not in favor of dragging our feet on the expansion part. I think we need to go ahead and keep plugging away at this, knowing that it's got to happen.
Right.
We're not having to worry.
And that's what I've done is I've been in contact with Tony on this so we can keep this moving forward to see where we're at.
Yep.
So
That sounds good, Jesse.
on my agenda that I sent out to you, I gave you an update on the Hidden Valley Lakes community at the bottom of Linn County on the county line between Bourbon and Linn County. Do you have any questions about that?
Okay, so Bourbon County basically said that they could do what they did, even though it wasn't on Bourbon County.
Right. And it splits right between Bourbon County and Linn County. Is where their entrance is.
So what we're doing is we're going to make them pay to change the entrance.
Correct. So they will fill out the application, pay the application fee, and pay for us to install the culvert, paying for the culvert to be there. I've also asked them to issue us a letter from the board. If you know, around those lake communities, they actually have a buffer zone, their own right of way to control access in and out. I told them that we need a letter from the board saying that this is an access for the community, not for an individual. And that's why they've granted their access to come out, that it's not for a private owner, that it is for the community. That way we have record that this isn't being allowed for an individual, it's for the community.
Because it's just like Linn Valley or Sugar Valley, they do own a buffer clear
Yep, so
around the
Linn
outside of
Valley,
their property.
or excuse me, Sugar Valley and Hidden Valley are owned by the same people, so.
Okay.
I did ask them about that perimeter berm that they do have around their properties, and that's the same stipulation they have down there.
And this was an entrance from years ago that they had closed
Correct,
themselves,
correct,
and they just chose to open it back up.
yes.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Okay.
We're working on 700 Road this week. This is one of the FEMA projects we had down here by Scott and 700. We're doing a culvert replacement down there so we can get that one out of the way. I'm waiting for both culvert companies that I've reached out to finish their estimates on the culvert. I did reach out to them this morning. They should hopefully have that to me this week on the cost for the culvert to replace Baskerville. So I can bring that into you guys. I'm hoping by, if not next week, the week after. On that, also wanted to make note again that when we get ready to do that, we're going to put a notice out in the paper that we're going to close that road for a week. We'll have barricades up. I'm going to get with the school district for bus routes to let them know that we're going to have that road closed. So everybody's not surprised when we get that road worked on. I did visit with our contractor to do the roof on the courthouse. The paperwork is moving forward slowly. I did talk with KDHE about disposing of the asbestos shingles out at the landfill. I gave them the specifics on those shingles, and they said that would be fine. We could take those to the landfill on that, just so you're aware. We did do our homework on that to make sure that would be okay to take that out there with the contractor. Other than that, that's all I have unless you have any questions for me.
I don't.
I don't know.
Thank you,
Thank
Jesse.
you.
We'll open it up for public comment. Close public comment. Is Jennifer got a time she coming in or?
She said she cannot be here any earlier than 10:30.
Okay.
All right. Well, you want to just recess till 10:30? Then we'll take care of her and the mental health and,
That'll work for me.
okay,
Make a motion, we recess until 10:30.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yes. Jesse, you have one other thing you say?
It's that time of year to go back out for salt bids. Permission to go ahead and put that in the paper and get salt bids going.
Reopen the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Thank you, Jesse.
Jennifer,
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jennifer Leach Harlow, and I am here today on behalf of the Economic Development Board. And I know there's been some discussion on how things are going to go proceeding forward. And I just kind of wanted to touch base on with you guys, the board. We have been in communications. We were just kind of wondering if we should continue to try to meet, or if you wanted to dissolve that as of right now. I think some of the biggest concerns that we have is that it's coming close to where we would start the YEC, the Youth Entrepreneur group that we had, where they presented every year, and we were able to give out about $5,000 worth of money to the students in various ways. Usually the first prize was 1,000, the second prize was 500, and it did work out that we have been able to give all kids that participate a little something, and so that's coming up. We normally have that in March, but the paperwork and everything has to be done. And then since the commissioners meeting, when you guys discussed it, I've had a few reach out too also about the summer employment option that comes through the county that is also a grant, that they were concerned about. Would we be losing that? Then there's the daycare grant, sidewalk grant, and then home improvement grant. So there's just a few things that I was not able, I had meetings this morning, so I was not able to listen to the commissioners meeting this morning to see if you guys discussed that anymore on how you wanted to handle the, okay. Okay, so there was talk about, is there some of these that we could proceed with, like the YEC that's coming up right now? If we found somebody that would take that on contractually, to maybe do a few of the events, or just do this one event to get it off for this year until we decide what we're going to do. I was just going to kind of give you what all is involved in planning for that. And I will just be honest with you and several other board members. Most of them that we do have on the Economic Development Board carry out a full-time job, plus are on various boards. So they've already informed me that if there was going to be more expected of them on as a board member, that they would be resigning. So I've kind of asked them to please not do that just yet until we kind of talk to you guys and see exactly, what maybe we.
I was not trying to push things off.
Oh, 100, yeah, got it. Got it. Yep. So a few things that would need to be just for this YEC is we would need the grant to be written, fill out the information for the website, work with the teachers and the students in all 3 districts on the planning, and then we have always provided lunch to them. And then it takes several judges because you do have to have, there's a presentation, there's an actual, they have to give a full business analysis, and then there's presentation, different things that you have to have a lot of judges for, and then getting the venue where it would be taking place, and miscellaneous others. Like last year, we had a guest speaker that was someone that started on an entrepreneurship business, and then has been very successful. So the kids really enjoyed that. So I guess I just need some feedback to take to the board on kind of what your thoughts are, and see what we need to do as far as I thought at the last meeting, maybe you said something about that you did have some applications, but I didn't know if that was anything you were looking at to.
We do. I guess from my point of view, I would like to see us move forward with a contract employee to help us get the YEC. And if we can have that same person help us with the summer youth employment grants and those things, maybe move it to quarterly meetings for the Economic Development Committee, try to keep them intact from that standpoint, so we still have that sounding board. But I guess relieve everybody, have them understand that, you know, we're gonna have to have somebody hired. And would you have them report to the Economic Development Committee?
I don't think for what we're doing, I mean, the budget's already been placed for this. And so we would just be instructing that individual on how to proceed, how to get these things done. And so, I mean, to me, it would be a little bit of a waste of the commission's time and the fact of the board, we would be reporting to you saying, this is how much each of these projects, and we could kind of take them as they go. So like if the YEC is the first one, we would say, okay, we're thinking it's going to take this many hours at this price. Are you good with that? And then you would say, yes, you are. And then as far as the economic development, I think we had a checking account for things like this that I believe I'm a signer on, and maybe Janelle Ost or Russell Pope, I'm not sure. And so we could write, either the funds could be transferred to that, or she turn in her hours to Joyce, or whoever we decide on or whatever.
Because like the Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge, most of the funding for it is coming from Network Kansas.
Correct, from Janet Miller, yeah. And so Janet's really tried to stay in touch with the board, trying to say, you know, if there's anything we can do to help.
Janet Miller from Network Kansas.
Yes, Janet Miller from Network Kansas. And so she's really trying to keep in touch. And so and it's one of those things that when we first started out, you know, we didn't have very many, and then the next year, and it's just, it's kind of continued to grow. So I really don't want to lose our momentum on that. And, you know, for some of those kids, $1,000 is a big deal. And then they go on to the state, which is at K-State, to present their ideas there as well. So, like I said, I don't know how, you know, if that's an opportunity. We have somebody that we've talked to that would be interested in doing that. And, you know, we would just, you know, they would tell us on how much it would be for them to do it hourly. And then we would clear that with you guys first and then go from there. We're just trying to keep things in the flow. And then if you guys do hire somebody, fine. But I just hate to see these that I am aware of go away.
Commissioner Hightower, can you turn your microphone on, please?
And I'm of that same opinion. I don't want to see these things, the positive momentum that we've had, go away.
Right.
You know, I think we've seen these programs be beneficial.
Yeah.
Do we need to set a dollar figure as far as for each program, or an hourly figure? How do we need to do this
Any person that is working for the county, even on a contractual basis, is employed on a contractual basis by the county.
Okay.
And so at current, the economic development position is under the commissioner. So you would be the hiring and firing agency for that. If you want to give the Economic Development Committee the hiring and firing ability for somebody on a contractual basis, that would require you guys to make such a decision. Alternatively, if they have somebody that they want you all to consider, they could certainly bring that name to you all, and you could interview them and do your normal process for negotiating an hourly rate or whatever.
What do you feel, Jason? How do you feel? Think they need to report to us or to report to the board?
I think they should just report to the board.
Okay.
I think that would be the most beneficial.
Do we need to just have a set figure for each program that they're willing to do it
Can
for?
that be something that you can bring back to us?
Yeah, I mean, I can discuss that and say, you know, I just asked, hey, could you give me a thought on how much you think this would take to do the YEC? And I got that information back, and I can do that for each, because the YEC is definitely going to take
Okay.
more than any of these others.
And
because
so what is the YEC number?
the YEC number on that, and that was to do all of those things that I read off, and they would keep track of time, and turn that in just like we have on the, and they're, looking anywhere from 13 to 1,500. And that would be supplying all the judges, finding the event location, ordering the lunches, scheduling the judges, coordinating with the school districts on the information, and then providing information to whoever they would need to about the website, and then just general miscellaneous things.
Okay, and so since this is the most pressing issue, is that where we start?
That's what I would say. Let's
We
do this
make-
first and see if, what we decide as far as.
Yeah, and we can
See
see
how
how
this
it works, and then if it works good, fine, and if it doesn't work, then
Is this a flat rate thing? Like you're wanting to have them sign a contract to handle the YEC thing for 1,300 to 1,500 bucks? So let's just call it 1,500. So you want them to sign a contract as a flat rate to handle all things YEC for 1,500? Or are you saying that there's some sort of an hourly rate and that it doesn't exceed 1,500?
I didn't broach that because I didn't even know if I didn't even know if you guys would consider this. So I would be willing to go back and say, okay, we want an hourly or we want a flat rate, depending on whatever you all decide. And like I said,
I would-
this one, the YEC is going to be much more involved than a lot of these others.
I would like to see just a flat rate myself. Just give us a flat rate of what someone
What this
will do.
program's gonna cost.
And I can go back and find out for each one of these and see if there's anything else, and then get a flat rate for each one of these and have it spelled out specifically for you guys, and then I can present it back to you if that's what you would like.
And do you think that the quarterly meetings would work as far as fitting in?
I really,
Aren't they?
because
every
the only
month?
thing right now, it usually
You could
is
always
every
meet
month.
More than you,
Yeah. It's just really hard in the fact of, we normally try to do it in the mornings, and, we try to get over here, but most of our people have jobs, and so we're taking them out of the workplace, which is really hard for me. So I would prefer that personally, is to have a quarterly meeting, and then depending on basing them on when these are due, because we do have to vote on the summer employment, the daycare, sidewalk and home improvements. We have to vote on those, so I can kind of see when those are due, and then see if we're able to meet prior to that.
that would be good.
So,
Why don't you look and see what the contract rate would be for each program, and
okay,
what we can get somebody to do each
okay,
individually,
okay.
and we'll go. I'm interested in looking at it that way.
And then would the attorney draw that contract up for us, or do I present that? Or would you be good with that?
I'd be happy to draw it up if
Okay.
you give me the terms of what
Okay,
you're looking for, and
okay,
I'll need an exact job description for that particular, if we're wanting to contract them to handle the YEC thing, then I need from you what all does that entail?
okay,
And then we can go from there.
okay. I will get the
Okay.
dates of when all these are due, and then I will give all this information, get a quote on what that would require as far as cost wise. And then we'll look at the meetings, and then I'll report all of this back to the Economic Development Board, and then we can kind of go from there.
Sounds good.
And then I will present that. And then if you guys need anything additional from me, and when I have been sending my contacts to the clerk, and then having her send them to you, because I don't know what the rule is on who can talk to who and what. So I just send it to you and let you take care of it, because I don't want to.
That's
Is
the
that
best
okay?
thing. If you just do it to her and then she
Yeah.
can pass it on.
Okay. I feel better about that. And then that way I'm not breaking any rules of time. So,
Sounds good.
okay.
Thanks.
Thank
for
you
all
very
your help,
much. If you
Jennifer.
need anything else, just let me know, and I will report this information back to the Economic Development Board.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jennifer. Hello.
Hello. Come forward if you would, please, and state your name and who you're with. Jim Johnson.
Good morning.
Thank you guys for letting me come. What I'm trying to do is go around to all our counties in southeast Kansas and explain about SEK Inc. I was here a few years ago. I was pretty green. And we've kind of got our feet on the ground now. SEK Inc. was founded in 1957 by a group of local businessmen to grow industry. Well, industry isn't the issue at this point. It's workforce development, CTE, housing, and childcare.
Sorry, for the record, would you mind stating
I'm
your name and
sorry.
position?
I'm sorry. My name is Patty Ann Sanborn, and I'm the director of SEK Inc. I'm sorry. Our mission statement is to provide, SEK Inc. exists to provide resources through our network of business while growing Southeast Kansas communities we are a part of. The three areas, like I said, are workforce development, the importance of CTE, and you guys have a great start here with Dr. J and the STARS program. He's done an amazing job, and I brag about him all the time. It's so important for our government, our legislators, to realize how important community colleges are for our small communities. And we're really emphasizing that with this upcoming election. And the housing, we had our last housing. I came and talked to you guys about the housing. Jessica came. I know she came when she was the economic development here. We thought we maybe would have 40 people come. We had 130 attend, and that we were just amazed. So we're having another one, November 6th and 7th in Chanute at the Impact Center. And 2 years ago, the state of Kansas and the government were throwing money out like crazy for grants and all. Well, that's kind of halted. So this time we're thinking outside the box. So we're having several speakers come with ideas of what they're doing. For instance, Coffee County, Rhonda Gilbert from Burlington. She's the housing director, and she's got a real different approach to housing. It's not just low income. She, when Gardner was building houses, you know, those new subdivisions, she got contacted with some people, and the nice little ranch houses that they were just going to tear down, she went up, they gave them to her. She went up and got them. All she had to do was pay to have them moved them to Waverly and set them up. And there was a nice, you know, she's done several of those. And so, I mean, you're close enough to places like that. I mean, on 69, you've
Right.
got an ideal spot. Anyway, that's the theme, is thinks outside the box. And then another idea is Anna Methan is with we have a Green Living Foundation in Chanute. The hospital, it's a hospital. They have so many people, older people, want to move out of their bigger houses into a place that is a small 1,200 square foot house that is maintained. And that way families can move into the bigger houses. And they've got like 20 of those in Chanute, and that's a foundation that they've started in Chanute. So there's going to be several like above story living houses and apartments and stuff. And childcare, that's huge. And I think it is here too, isn't it?
Yes.
An issue. I was in Fredonia the other day, and they said they have one childcare that takes 10 people. Well, they've got quite a bit of business in Fredonia. And that we just have to get this going. We've got to quit talking and get something done. Candy Rushing is a rock star in childcare. She started one in Parsons, Iola, and Pittsburgh, and we're looking at 2 places possibly. She's working with Beth Tolan from Allen County Community College to start classes at these community colleges to get the students into classes to help them be able to have a career in childcare, not just to babysit, but to have a career in it. We had a family-friendly workplace conference, and this has been a real feather in our cap. We had it in Parsons, and we're going to have another one in 2026. We asked the HR from the manufacturers to come, and we held it at Parsons, and we only had about 5 HR people come, but this next one, I'm sure we'll have more. Monarch Cement in Humboldt, which is known for mainly older men whose wives didn't have to work. They didn't care about childcare. I mean, they had a new HR young gal come, and she took the book back, and now they provide help pay for childcare for any of their employees. So that's what we're working, like Horizon in Chanute. They want to help with childcare. They just aren't sure, and there's tax credits that are available for these manufacturers. And there's so much that can be done. It's just that, once again, you've got to think outside the box. Let's see. And with the younger generation, that's what we're going to have to do, because they want more perks and to be able to get them into Southeast Kansas. We have 5 to 6 forums a year. Our next forum is going to be at Prairie Land in Iola. To tour it, we tour the facilities. Our annual dinner is in January, and this year it will be in Independence, and the guest speaker will be the Mark Stewart. He's the ref, the NFL ref that did the Super Bowl last year, and he's from Sedan, Kansas. We have Day on the Hill in Topeka on the 2nd and 3rd. The evening before, we invite all the state legislators to come to meet and greet, and the next day we just have for Southeast Kansas, the whole Southeast Kansas, our whole group is invited for breakfast, and then we go back over to the Capitol and visit with them if we can catch them. We one day went up to the Capitol, had appointments with all of them. Well, it was like chasing cats. It was the worst day of my life. On the way home, we decided we were going to have a dinner for them and invite them as our guests. We didn't let them talk. We had 10 of them come, and we had Dr. Inbody from Neosho County. We had April talk about what's going on in our counties for housing, and Candy Rushing to talk about childcare. So we had 72 people come to that, and 10 of them were legislators. So we were real happy about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, if anybody, do you guys have any questions?
So do we pay dues to this?
You didn't last year, you didn't. I brought this for next year if you'd be interested in joining. What I've been described as like an umbrella over chamber and economic development, trying to bring all of us together so we work together. I mean, that's the whole key, to let everybody know what's going on. I don't want to work against anybody. I want to work together. So I brought the schedule. We haven't changed our rates.
Okay. Yep, just for you. Thank you, Patty Ann. Okay.
I'm just trying to go around all the counties to talk to them, just to let them know what exactly we do, because for a lot of years they didn't do anything.
Okay.
What counties does it entail?
Linn, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee, Wilson, Montgomery, Coffee, Neosho, Allen, Woodson. There's 12.
Southeast Kansas.
Yeah.
The 12 in the corner.
Yeah, yeah. And I was so excited when I found out that Linn County was included.
Okay.
Because I think you guys are kind of like Burlington, kind of on the cusp of the Johnson County, not Sedgwick.
Yeah, we have the 4-lane highway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Appreciate your time, Patty.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy this beautiful day.
You too.
When's the festival? When's the arts and crafts show?
This weekend.
This weekend?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I don't need any more stuff.
Me neither. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything?
I don't.
Commissioners, according to Resolution 2024-38, you have approved a holiday for October 13th. That's next Monday, so our regular meeting will be moved to Tuesday, October 14th.
Okay, so do we need a motion to change our meeting date?
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume it's implied since it's a holiday on the regular meeting, but yeah, a motion wouldn't hurt.
Okay, I move that we move the October 13th meeting to October 14th due to the holiday.
I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Commissioners, on October 14th, the change of power and elected positions for the treasurer's office happens according to statute. First thing at 9 a.m., Judge Andrea Purvis is going to come to the meeting and swear in Joni Reed as our treasurer, and she's going to swear in Kathy Biggerstaff as the deputy treasurer.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. So you're saying be on time?
I mean, I would prefer it. Judge Purvis would probably be very thankful if you were. I'll be out of town in Salina at an elections training Tuesday through, I'll be gone today, but the training is Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay,
But the rest of my staff will be here and capable of carrying on the tasks of the office.
sounds good. Hope you learn lots.
No,
Have a good trip.
Anything else? Anybody? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.